Welcome back to Julian Sand's career.
What, dead? Or...
Matt can't be here today because he must find the Maltese Falcon. Today's story is Charlie the Killer and was submitted by quite a lot of people. It's quite a short one. Let's go! Jeff is nearly 18 now, and meeting Jane the Killer was a big thrill for him as she died a tragic death from falling down the stairs. You can't see me doing air quotes.
But you can tell by the voice.
But this didn't stop his psychopathic ways.
It was a psychopath, I didn't know that.
Charlie was going through a rough bullying stage at school and was beginning to get depressed and hearing voices on her head. They were telling her to do stuff. She just put them to the back of her mind and carried on with getting shoved in lockers and beat up in the girls' bathroom.
Maybe they were telling her to get beat up.
She heard the voices screaming at her until one day she snapped and listened to the voices in her head and pulled out the copper piping from the wall and stabbed her bully to death and licked the blood off the pipe.
Literally, we do that voice every single time we do The Killer. Like, they burn like a bum and explode.
No, I'm doing this voice because that's the run-on sentence voice where you start to run out of oxygen.
Good luck with this next one then.
She leaned near the bully's body and whispered, and naturally Toby will be providing the voice.
Now you know how I felt when you called me ugly and said I was too fat to meet anyone who liked me, and that I was a whore who should kill myself.
After she realised what she had done, ran away. She didn't feel bad about this. Actually, she was quite glad. She wanted to do it more. So Charlie went out. She killed more people.
Great.
Just because she liked the feeling of knowing she wasn't in fear anymore.
Okay, as do, yeah.
Charlie was never a mean girl. She'd always just sit there, wrong there, and take the crap. It's like a foreign person talking about going to the toilet. She had beautiful eyes with brunette hair. How did she see out of them? But she started wearing really dark makeup and dyed her hair black. She'd read Jeff the Killer stories.
Of course she did.
And looked further into this as Jeff was her inspiration.
There's no other story, there's no other killer in the world. Just Jeff.
It's just,
Jeff.
I'm so
For
bored of this,
100
and I'm starting to
years.
sound like Film Brain. It's just like, she went on and started doing what Jeff did. She used to say, "Don't go to sleep. I want you to feel the pain I went through." Then she would pull out their guts and burn them in their own stomach acid, watching as blood would fly every new word. Where?
Wow.
How could someone do an entire film review in that voice and not want to punch themselves in the trachea? Charlie became the talk of the town.
Great.
One day she went on a search for Jeff the Killer.
And
She
come up
obviously is
short.
going to find him in about one sentence.
She looked everywhere, hoping that one day they'll meet.
And he'll probably kill her because that's what he does. Because
Jeff.
he's Jeff.
Charlie finally met Jeff. Jeff looked at her. He didn't say a thing.
Thank
His
God.
eyes were locked onto hers. He walked up to her and brushed her hair behind her ear and kissed her on the cheek.
Forgive me while I vomit.
Charlie blushed and questioned Jeff. So you need the fucking phone. You've just thrown
I
across
threw
the
my
room now,
phone across
Toby.
the fucking floor because every single time there's a self-insert iteration of Jeff the Killer, it's always people, I want to fuck Jeff. Jeff is a dirty butt. No, it's just, why?
So I need you to do the voice. Come on.
Why?
Why do you like someone like me? I'm just a fat, ugly whore.
Jeff looked down at the floor and looked up at Charlie again.
Here we go.
I love fat, ugly whore. You're the most beautiful person I've ever met, and you're not fat, ugly, or a whore.
How do you know she's not a whore?
Jeff spoke. I think that we should be together, as I've heard a lot about you, and I was fascinated.
Even though you are...
How am I film braining the Jeff voice now? I'm not doing it on purpose.
I think we should be together, as I heard a lot about you and I was fascinated.
These two literally have the chemistry of a fucking toothbrush. I don't even know the analogy, but it makes more sense in this story.
Well, the thing is, it's like, you're the most beautiful person I've ever met, even though the only way that you've been described is that you have brown hair and brunette hair.
It's because of her beautiful eyes.
The
Because
eyes that have hair shooting out of them.
And that she's not fat, ugly, or a whore. But
Charlie started blushing as Jeff grabbed her cheek and brought his lips close to hers.
Great.
He was like burned off, charred lips. She pushed away. Why did you push me away? Don't be scared of me, please.
Then you just
Jeff said as they were stood down, an alley in the rain?
Of course, you know, it
if
would be
you like
raining.
pina
It would be raining.
coladas.
I would like to know as well, where was he searching everywhere? Where is everywhere? Was she searching in your house? Was she in it? Was she here earlier? That girl, Jacob.
Yeah, that was
with
the,
the
that was
brown
the fat
eyes.
whore that was here.
Yeah. Eyes in her hair. Yeah, weird.
Jeff, you don't know what I've been through. All I do is push people away.
And stab them to death with pipes.
Because, you
And
know,
lick
I've been such
blood.
for a hard time.
Charlie whimpered
I
as tears
misunderstood.
started streaming down her face.
I will always love you,
What?
no matter what happens.
You literally just met. You literally 2 seconds ago just met.
Jeff said, wrapping his arms around Charlie.
Oh my fucking god, do I have to say this?
I have the urge to kiss you, but I feel though it's if I do you'll leave me. My father left me after violently beating me and my mother. I don't want to fall in love with you, so then I'll have to trust you, and then I don't want to end up killing myself like my mother.
Charlie
And
began to
And
explain.
then Jeff naturally went, whoa, okay, what the hell, that was a bit too much. Why are you sharing that with me, with someone with the first encounter you've ever had with someone? You're telling me that deep shit?
It's difficult to
fuck
tell.
you are.
They don't adhere to the incredibly basic, year 4 thing you learn in English, which is, kids are like 8 and 9 learn this: new speaker, new line.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
I will never hurt you. You're the most precious thing to me.
Just met.
I've been waiting to meet you as soon as I heard about you.
No, you haven't.
After
The
being with
favours
each
are
other
not
for
all
2
right.
years,
Fuck it, that was quick.
Jeff decided it was time that Charlie and him should get married.
God's sake.
I think I'm going insane.
Charlie,
I think I'm going in fucking insane.
Jeff leant down on one knee.
Lent down?
will you do me the honours of becoming my wife?
No!
Jeff opened up the case to see a gorgeous ring with little diamonds around the edge.
Yes!
Charlie squealed in
I
joy.
just imagine that she's going to say all this. Yes, I will marry you!
As tears of joy streamed down both their
Oh my
faces,
God, this
they
gets-
went back home.
This gets worse.
A week before the wedding, Charlie sits down at the bottom of the bed and begins to cry.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Jeff curiously asks.
I'm pregnant.
Why does she talk like him now? Charlie
They've
cries.
been together for 2 years. Obviously, she's going to pick up the accent.
What?
Jeff says surprisingly. So she's not surprised. He says it. So surprisingly, he says what?
I'm 14 weeks pregnant. I was going to tell you, but I didn't want to make a big fuss, and then we lose it.
Charlie, this is great news.
Right.
Then end credited to Megan and Charlotte.
It was written by 2 people. 2 people were had to write that.
67 people already perfect. 13 people almost perfect. 21 people unique. That's a word for it. 13 people just okay. 100 people very bad. 105 people not creepy. 602 abandoned ship. I'm 603. You know, I think this is the first time I've actually been at a loss for words at a pasta.
I don't think it is. There's probably
No.
another. I'm sure somebody in the comments can point out to another time that's happened. So this wasn't very good. This was on Troll Pasta, but it's one of those supposedly written as a real story. I'm sceptical that this wasn't always intended to be a joke, but it's not hugely funny, is the thing. So it fails even in its attempt to kind of lampoon,
Simple
You know,
Fan
we love,
fiction.
we love self-insert fan fictions. Oh yeah.
it's bad. Is what we're getting at. It's not. It is not a good story.
It's just the fact that they describe, you know, she killed the bully by stabbing her with a pipe somehow, whatever. And then it's just like, and then she just went on to just kill people. Who cares? It's like
I want
they
to
weren't
know.
focusing on the killing. She was more focused on just getting Jeff and Charlie together because, you know, Jane's out of the picture. Naturally, you know, a psychopath's just gonna wanna fuck someone, right?
Well, what I want to know now,
Psychopath, you know, he's sexy.
I want to know what happens
I
after
would.
the marriage and after the pregnancy, and how
Do
Charlie the killer is having to take the time off work while Jeff's out doing all the work.
What would
and
the
all
child?
killing?
Yeah, what would
And
the
then-
child know? Oh yeah, because
And then
their
it's
work
just
is
the
killing.
arguments. He was like, "We don't do anything anymore," and then Jeff's like, "But I need to kill to provide food for the family," and then she's like, "We don't see you anymore. The kid barely sees you. He's gonna turn into a killer like you one day."
Which
And then it's just like, "You don't mean that." And then, yeah,
Gemma, what the fuck are you going on about?
She's literally writing the second part of this book.
So
No,
I'm
genuinely, because I can't hear most of what you're saying.
Yeah, so
I'm being facetious, is what I'm doing.
She said feces. Thanks very much for watching, and a special thanks to the patrons whose names are on the screen right now. Thank you for sponsoring this strange and bizarre little show on the internet. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, then you can smash that subscribe button with like a hammer or a cheese. Thank you. Come watch another one sometime. Maybe we can have a cake.